Saving your first $1,000 sounds simple, until you actually try to do it. You tell yourself, this month, I'm finally going to save money. And at first, it feels possible. You spend less. You check your bank account more often. You skip one or two things you wanted to buy. You feel like you are finally getting control. And then life shows up. A bill is higher than expected. Groceries cost more than you thought. The car needs something. A subscription renews. The credit card payment hits. And suddenly, the money you were going to save is gone before it even became savings. So you start over. Again. And that is why the first $1,000 feels so hard. Not because you are lazy. Not because you are bad with money. But because saving money for the first time means fighting your habits, your bills, your surprises, and your excuses all at the same time. This is Finn Parker. Finn is trying to save his first $1,000. Not to get rich overnight. Not to flex. Not to become some finance genius. He just wants a little breathing room. Because right now, every surprise feels bigger than it should. A flat tire feels like a crisis. A higher electric bill ruins the month. A forgotten expense sends him back to the credit card. And even a small problem can make him feel like he is starting from zero again. So Finn decides he needs a cushion. $1,000. That is the goal. Not $1 million. Not financial freedom. Just the first $1,000. And at first, Finn thinks the hard part is the number. $1,000 feels huge when your account keeps dropping back down. But after a while, he realizes something. The hardest part is not reaching $1,000. The hardest part is becoming the kind of person who can keep $1,000. Because saving is not just math. It is behavior. It is timing. It is patience. And sometimes, it is emotion. Finn starts with the plan most people try first. He says, I'll save whatever is left at the end of the month. That sounds reasonable. But there is one problem. There is usually nothing left. Because leftover money disappears quietly. A coffee here. A delivery order there. A small online purchase. A random fee. A weekend plan. A bill that was forgotten. Nothing feels huge by itself. But together, those little things eat the money that was supposed to become savings. So Finn learns the first lesson. If you only save what is left, saving becomes an accident. And accidents are not a plan. That is when Finn changes the order. Instead of spending first and saving later, he saves first. Not a huge amount. Maybe $20. Maybe $50. Maybe $100 on a better month. The amount is not the point yet. The point is making saving a real part of the budget. Like rent. Like groceries. Like the phone bill. Like the credit card payment. Because if every other bill gets paid first, savings has to fight for leftovers. And savings usually loses. So Finn opens a separate savings account. Nothing fancy. Just separate. Because when savings sits in the same account as spending money, it feels available. And available money gets touched. Finn knows himself. If the money is sitting right next to his checking balance, he will mentally spend it. So he moves it away. Not far. Just far enough that it feels like it has a job. This money is not for coffee. This money is not for random shopping. This money is not for, I kind of want that. This money is protection. And that word matters. Protection. Because the first $1,000 is not really about looking rich. It is about stopping small problems from becoming big problems. Before Finn has savings, every surprise becomes debt. Car problem, credit card. Extra bill, credit card. Forgotten expense, credit card. Emergency, credit card. The credit card becomes the backup plan. But once Finn starts building savings, something changes. Even before he reaches $1,000, he starts feeling different. $200 saved does not solve everything, but it solves something. $300 saved does not make him rich, but it gives him a little room. $500 saved does not make life perfect, but it can stop one bad week from becoming a financial spiral. That is why the first 1,000 matters. It is not magic. It is a small wall between Finn and the next emergency. But here is where most people feel like quitting. Finn finally saves $300. Then the car needs a repair. The repair costs $200. Now his savings drops back to $100. And Finn feels defeated. He thinks, what is the point? Every time I save, something takes it. But that is the wrong way to look at it. The savings did its job. Without that money, the repair probably goes on the credit card. Then it becomes a balance. Then maybe interest. Then another monthly payment. Then more stress. But because Finn had savings, the problem stayed smaller. The money was not wasted. It was used for the exact reason it existed. That is a big mindset shift. Using emergency savings for a real emergency is not failure. That is the plan working. The only thing Finn has to do now is rebuild. And that is the real skill. Not just saving, rebuilding. Because the first $1,000 will probably not be a straight line. It may look like this. Save 100. Use 50. Save again. Reach 200. Unexpected bill. Drop again. Keep going. Reach 400. Life happens. Rebuild again. That does not mean you are bad with money. That means you are learning to handle life without completely falling apart every time. Finn also learns that small amounts count. At first, $20 feels pointless. He looks at the goal and thinks, it is only $20. That is nothing. But $20 saved is not just $20. It is proof. Proof that he can pause. Proof that he can keep money. Proof that not every dollar has to leave immediately. Proof that he can make a promise to himself and actually follow through. And once the habit exists, it can grow. A person who saves $20 consistently is building the same skill as someone who saves $200. The numbers are different, but the habit is the same. So Finn makes the goal visible. He writes, goal, $1,000. Then he breaks it into checkpoints. 100, 200, 300, 500, 750, 1,000. Now the goal does not feel like one giant mountain. It feels like steps, and steps are easier to climb. When Finn reaches $100, he notices it. When he reaches 200, he marks it. When he has to use some of it for a real emergency, he does not shame himself. He updates the number and starts rebuilding. That is how this becomes sustainable. Not perfect, sustainable. Because perfection is not the goal. If Finn expects to save perfectly every month, he will quit the first time life gets messy. And life always gets messy. Some months he saves more. Some months he saves less. Some months he saves nothing. Some months he has to use the money. But he does not quit the system. He keeps the goal alive. That is the difference between someone who is stuck and someone who is building. The stuck person says, I failed. I'm done. The builder says, that happened. Now I rebuild. And slowly, Finn starts changing. He thinks before spending. He checks his budget faster. He notices small purchases sooner. He uses the credit card less as a rescue plan. He feels a little less panic when something goes wrong. Money does not feel perfect, but it feels less chaotic. And that matters. Because your first $1,000 is not just about the money. It is about breaking the cycle of starting from zero. It is about building trust with yourself. It is about proving that not every dollar has to disappear. It is about creating space between a problem and a crisis. And once that first cushion exists, the next step becomes easier. Not easy, easier. Because now Finn knows the process. Pick a number. Make it visible. Save first, even if it is small. Keep it separate. Use it only for real emergencies. Rebuild when life happens. Repeat. That may sound boring, but boring is good. Boring is how money starts becoming stable. The first $1,000 is not about looking rich. It is about no longer being one small emergency away from panic. That is the real win. So if you are trying to save your first $1,000, do not wait until you can save a huge amount. Start with what you can protect. $10, $20, $50. The amount matters less than the direction. Because the first 1,000 is not just money. It is proof that you can keep money. Proof that you can rebuild. Proof that your paycheck does not have to disappear completely every time. And proof that you are not stuck forever. If this made saving money feel a little more possible, subscribe to Money Made Simple. Leave a like so more people can find this video. And comment below, what is harder for you right now? Saving the first $100 or not touching it once it is saved? Here, we explain money in plain English, one simple story at a time.